Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino, Monday, February 19th, 2024, and this is, of course, my newest segment of Markets, A Look Ahead. Let's put a couple things together here. This has been a pretty interesting weekend, at least in my view. What's going on here? War is expanding rapidly, just as you and I have expected. We also found out that we're sending over a massive weapons package to Israel, courtesy of the American people, of course, despite the fact that our illustrious president is, it's just a game, it's just a joke, talking about atrocities that are going on there. So let's get this, let's just put that into perspective. So our illustrious president believes that Israel, he's come out and said, is committing, well, what we would amount to war crimes right now. But meanwhile, we're sending these people weapons and money and everything else to keep the situation just going. How does that work? Maybe one of you here wants to explain that to me. Now, we also found out that, well, it appears that our, again, illustrious, beautiful man as a president is promising, courtesy of the American people, another $60 billion in support for the war in Ukraine. Zelensky is getting just what he has asked for and more. And if you think for a nanosecond that any of this is over or it's done, absolutely not. There's also been a series of so-called shootings here that have been going on in the United States over this week. It's not over yet. Now, I said specifically, maybe last week, I believe that there was a high probability of some kind of false flag event occurring this weekend. Several reasons here. Now, so far, I mean, what has happened again, war is expanding, more ships being attacked here, and it's kind of insane. No matter what we are supposedly doing by attacking these Iranian proxies, or whatever they are here, it's not stopping the situation, quite obviously. Look, let me just say this. As to what's being reported, as to what's going on, how do we really know a damn thing, all right? We have to, again, take the word of the propaganda ministry, what's happening around the world. Oh, yeah, they're going to dictate our lives to us like they always do now. First of all, I don't believe any of it. That's the truth. None of it. It's all propaganda. It's all fake. All of this here is quite obviously simply a mechanism to pull more cash into the now in epic amounts, as we are in, and I can't say this another way, an absolute crisis on an epic scale. I'm talking about a liquidity crisis, and it is humongous, it's worldwide, and we are all feeling the effects of this right now. And it's about to get much worse. Again, the pulling of funds into the now from the future. This mechanism here being fueled by war, the most extreme example of cash being pulled into the now, propagated by war. War demands that more dollars or euros or whatever it might be pulled into existence than any other endeavor on the planet. You all know that. And that should right there, be a clear example to you that we have a problem here. And the paradox, and you and I have spoken about this like a gazillion times, is even though the situation is what it is, that is the world right now seemingly awash in debt, and we've witnessed again the surging of global debt at a pace that has never been seen before, to an incredible level, just pick up steam. And this mechanism is not going to stop. Even though, again, we are awash in debt, there's not enough of it to keep the system liquid enough to have it function at any kind of a normal level. Henceforth, why war? Expanding war. Funding for wars, even though there's atrocities going on, according to our illustrious president. He said it. Okay, so he must be right. Anyway, that's not news, I don't think, to anyone that follows this blog. This is going to go on, And of course, again, our new war, which we are directly involved in, bombing targets all over the Middle East, is having a nice, as expected, effect on crude oil. It's going up and up and up and up and up here. And we haven't seen anything with regard to that. It's pretty out of control what's going to end up happening here with commodities across the board. You're all well versed in this. Central banks are killing their currencies by design. You all know that. This mechanism of central banks continuing to inflate, to fund wars, to fund this, to fund that. All it does is, suck the purchasing power out of the currency. And inflation here, again, look, don't take my word for it. Listen to the propaganda ministry. Something that you and I have known since forever here. Inflation is outpacing every single prediction by the experts out there, not you and me. You and me have sat back right here repeatedly and outlined exactly how it's going to play out. And that's exactly what has happened here. Now, with that said, we need to remain diligent. We need to focus on what's happening here. And what we can track, you and I, is again risk. Risk in this market is at a very high level. We are not at an extreme level. It's at a high level here based on the MMRI, Mannarino Market Risk Indicator. Again, free to you, free to me, free to everyone on this planet. Link in the description of this video. We're sitting at about 277 right now. Why? What's going on? We have seen a sell-off here in the debt market here, which is, I don't want to say extremely profound, but it is interesting. All right, so there's this sell-off going on that's causing bond yields to rise. We've seen the dollar on a relative strength basis get stronger here. This is fear. And even with that, this market seems to be invincible. It's going higher and higher and higher. You and I have covered what's happening here, and it's going to get worse. Let's cover that just real quick. We have a situation which you and I called last year. We said it would happen, and it is. Mass corporate layoffs. Tens of thousands of people being laid off every month. 80,000 last month. We're going to get the numbers for this month relatively soon as well. 82,000 for last month. Actually, 83, I think it was. And that mechanism here has created a phenomenon. It's these same institutions that Wall Street is rewarding to a very high degree. The more people that are being laid off, the higher Wall Street is bidding up the company's stock. And again, and this bothers me. It bothers me, and it should bother you too. So these people are being laid off, which means they're in their own little depression over there. Okay, and these same companies are now taking billions of dollars and buying back shares of their own stock. So not only is Wall Street bidding these companies up, you got these same companies, again, buying back shares of their own stock. And the effect of that is a higher market. It's pretty obvious. Now, the other factor here, which you and I, again, thinking down the line, and I know there are quite a few of you here who disagree with me on this. And you're allowed to have your own opinion, honestly. And I want to hear from you if you have a different opinion than me. Outline why I am wrong. Okay, but here's the situation. The market is part of this phenomenon of record high, record high, record high, record high, is the fact, in my opinion, that the Fed is going to cut rates. They're going to cut rates moving forward at least 3 times this year. At least 3 times. And the market is pricing that in. That's what the market does. So crazy phenomenon is going on here. An economy here on a worldwide scale that is deteriorating at a faster pace than we have ever seen before. At the same time, war expanding. Does that sound familiar to you? Because it should. This is exactly what has happened prior to every world war. And that's where we're going. We're there now. We are going to see war expanding much, much faster. We're going to see people get not only murdered and killed on an epic scale. And part of this is what I have said for a long time, and many of you agree with me. There's going to be a lot less people on this planet in a short order than we have now. Okay, this is part of the plan, or the grander plan here, by central banks to exert control on people of the world. In order to do this, they have to set the stage. The stage has already been set, creating slaves to the current system and then eliminating a large part of the population. About control. A whole new set of rules is still yet to come. A whole new paradigm is coming, people. A one world system, completely run, dominated by central banks who have had this. This is not science fiction. This has been the goal of central banks since their inception. You all know that here. To one day become the lender and buyer of last resort. To one day rule the world. All they needed to do, okay, was control the currency. Okay, once they were able to do that via a fiat system, and they're able to issue their product to the world, we all lost. And we're still losing right now. There is no way to win here. Okay, the only way we, the people of the world, can be free, truly free, is if we eliminate central banks. They must go. If they get to dictate the economy, the financial markets, the financial system, we can't be free. We have to be able to manage ourselves. The whole concept of a free people has to begin with a monetary system that belongs to them, that is a wealth-based system. You understand that? We have a debt-based system been put into design by central banks via a twisted mechanism colluding with corrupt politicians, just like we have now. You understand? I think you do. We cannot be free if we have to live under the rulership of these institutions. And these institutions are dictating everything that is happening right now. Everything. The wars, the expansion of wars, the dilution of the currency, the destruction of the global economy. Everything. All of this. The control of information, the flow of information, what you are allowed to know via the propaganda ministry. I'm talking about the mainstream channels. This is all scripted. It's all put together in a way to twist your mind. That's all it is. Now, you and I, we're well aware of all this. We've spoken about this for, 10 years. It doesn't change what we're going to do here. You understand? From a financial standpoint, people, it couldn't be easier. Gold and silver, my favorite assets of all time. All right? Hoard this stuff. None more so than this one. Silver. Bet against the debt. Become your own central bank. You think this is going to get any better? Do you believe? Here's the question of this morning. Do you believe that global debt is going to miraculously stop? It's going to start to get better? Do you believe that we're actually going to be allowed to have a wealth-based system owned and run by we, the people of this planet Earth? Do you think that's actually going to happen? Or is the more likely scenario is everything that we're seeing is about to get a lot more dramatic, a lot more worse? The debt's going to inflate even further. What do you think? I mean, it's a no-brainer here, people. I know that some of you maybe are living in some kind of a pipe dream that maybe this is going to change. It is not going to change. This has been a scheme, a plan that has been put forth over a century ago with the inception of central banking. And you know my take on central banking. There's no guy on this planet, other than maybe you or a girl on this planet, who, first of all, understands the system to such a high level. Number two, despises it to the core because it's a slave system. You understand? I think all of you do. We need to watch risk in this market, okay? Going back to the sell-off in the debt market. At one point, this is going to overpower the market in this record high, record high, record high, record high, record high. It can change on a dime here. I do not believe it will, at least until the end of the presidential selection cycle. Okay, the illusion of the market is an extremely powerful thing. You and I have discussed this at length repeatedly. I think it's going to continue. After the selection, it's a whole new ball game. And you and I, we're going to be right here to talk about it at that point. And again, we got each other's backs. We never let each other down. And I promise you all that I will work harder than ever to keep you ahead of the curve. And I think together, collectively, this is not just Greg Mannarino's thing. This is our thing. We've done a damn good job, all right, of raising awareness, letting people understand what's happening here, so they can at least take the appropriate action. Because at least you get stuck listening to the propaganda ministry. You think everything is fantastic. It couldn't possibly be any better. We're What's affecting the rest of the world is not affecting us here in the United States. You know how you can tell? Because things like the creature sitting behind the Resolute desk is telling you so. Make it up, people. Make any of this stuff up. It's impossible to do. All right, look, we covered a lot here, and I sincerely hope to hear from you. I want to know, hey, Greg, you got this right, but you know what? Not so much over here. Help me help you, okay? Tell me what I got right, what I got wrong, and like I always tell you, you're allowed to have your own opinion on this, and I encourage it. I want to hear what you have to say. So collectively, we can take the right steps to best get ourselves in the right spots moving forward. From a financial standpoint, I cannot possibly imagine that you and I are in a better spot. And I've worked very, very hard to get you all there, all of us, including myself. I told you, nothing gets by me. Nothing gets by me. That's the truth. That means nothing is going to get by you, at least from that standpoint. And from a higher level, what do we do every Friday? Love each other, care about each other, be charitable. Imagine if the world could adopt all these things. What a better place we would be. You think we'd be murdering each other right now? You think we'd be where we are right now? I don't think so. I really don't. All right, look, love you a lot from the heart. I mean that. I will see all of you in the morning for the pre-market report. We know what to look at. We know what we're looking at. We know what our enemy wants. You tell me, how can we be beaten, honestly? All right? I'll see you in the morning. Love you a lot.